What's up, guys? Welcome to this review of Void Bastards from your boy the Integer. Played the game on the Xbox One S via the Xbox Game Pass. It's also available on Steam and I'm not sure if there's other places as well. Don't think it's on the PlayStation. Yeah, Microsoft, Windows, Mac, Xbox One. Published by Humble Bundle. You do a lot of, well, they do a lot of books these days rather than games, oddly enough. It's kind of a shame. Seems to be more books and comics. But anyway, Humble Bundle, good site as well. Developer is Blue Manchu, and let's check it out. Essentially, it's a game inspired by System Shock and Bioshock, System Shock 2 to be specific, and it's a kind of FPS roguelike. It's pretty damn impressive, I think, in my opinion. And you essentially have to try and escape the nebula. The Sargasso Nebula, so to speak, and you have basically the further down the depths you go, the tougher it gets, the more you need to upgrade and do different things to get better. The gameplay you're seeing will be the beginning gameplay, so no spoilers as ever, and the reviews as ever is 99.9% spoiler free. But let's get into the good, the bad, the ugly, and then the score, shall we? As a tradition here on these AirPods. First up, the good. So there's a unique combination of FPS and roguelike here, and it works really well. It's I don't know if I've ever played personally a first-person shooter with roguelike elements, at least done in this fashion. It's really impressive, really awesome actually. It also has addictive loot and shoot, building and upgrading mechanics, which was addictive for me. It likely will be for you. It's well voice acted with cool comic-like visuals, including kind of like comic text prompts when you do explosions and various things, or make a connection, or it's just very cool. You should be able to see from the gameplay. It works really well. Gives it a little pizzazz, kind of almost like a Borderlands thing going on, but in its own way. There's nice sound engineering going on in this game as well. You can kind of make out where the foes are coming from, directional wise, and that's a definite plus. You also have great strategic enemy variation and tools and weapons to mitigate that. If you choose the right tool for the right situation, you can turn around a situation that looks unlikely, unsurmountable, and that makes the game a lot of fun as well. Because when you discover what works, upgraded or otherwise, then it really makes what was really tough a more fluid experience. So you get what you should get when you improve things and build things up. So it's worth doing. You're gonna have to really if you want to finish the game, because it gets nasty. The random number generation in the game, there's a lot of RNG in the game, and it's balanced pretty nicely overall. It brings some needed variation as well to the many vessels that you will tackle in this game as you try to make your escape, and it's mostly balanced. There's not too many situations where it's hideous or nasty too much, but you can pick and choose to some degree as well, so it's all about strategy. There's lots of depth in the game in terms of strategy, challenge and tactics, as well as the upgrades and the risk reward loop as well. Obviously the longer you roam around, well not obviously, but the longer you roam around, the more risks you take, the more rewards you can get. Let me turn the phone off just in case it pops up with a noise. So you're gonna have to make that decision, make that call. Sometimes it's gonna work out, sometimes it's not. It's gonna be tense and it's gonna be rewarding when it works out for you. There's also a nice quick pick up and play about this game as well, because on average, each kind of vessel you tackle is gonna take you on average a maximum of maybe 20 minutes, but an average is gonna be something like probably 5 to 10 minutes average, and that has a nice kind of like, you can kind of like, just play a bit and pick it up again later on. It's a rarity in this kind of game, this kind of type in a way, but it works really well, I think. And it's just a plus. It made it a lot more easier to record the playthrough, the walkthrough of it, which you can also find and should be linked. And I think it's great length and great value for money because of that, especially via Game Pass. This game is definitely worth £25 that it's retailed at. Even £30 it will be worth it, I'd say. and usually I do it the per hour per pound. 24, just over 24 hours, £25. But even if I paid like £30 for this game rather than just Game Pass, I'd have been happy. It's a real good game, man. So that's all the good stuff. Next up, it's the bad. So for the bad, some of the map layouts and elements will start to become familiar and repeat after a good amount of hours of play, especially depending on how long you stay at the same depth. And with experience, you'll kind of learn a bit more how to maneuver in a way that it doesn't become as apparent somewhat, but it will be noticeable. You will start to see the limitations of the random elements. Not a major issue, but still something that's not noticeable and worth knowing. As far as narrative is concerned in the game, and its inspirations are very lofty. It's System Shock 2, which I played some of, but not a lot of, but Bioshock I've completed. So I think I can kind of say and speak for in terms of narrative comparisons. So from a narrative point of view, it doesn't really match those games. The narrative is pretty thin, and I think that's more to do with the budget more than anything, rather than a lack of effort. That's not to say that the what is there is bad, because the voice acting and everything is good, as I said already. But it's thin compared to those games. Those games are very immersive in terms of narrative. This game has what you'd expect, I suppose, from the budget point of view. That's not to say that the game is cheaply done or anything like that. I just think that, it would have required a lot more than what they probably had in terms of time and money to add the same level of depth in terms of story. And those games have strong stories, and Bioshock has one of the best twists ever in media, full stop. This game doesn't have that, but worth mentioning. Also, one of the bad things, I don't think there's much replayability in this game depending on how you play. If you play the way we played it here, over 24 hours, we've unlocked all the things, used all the things. Outside of achievement hunting, which I'm not an achievement hunter to that level, there's not really anything else to do. So once you're done with it, you're done with it. And it's worth noting. It could be a bad thing, because you do unlock some things and think, I would have liked a bit more time to use some of these weapons, rather than just have it in a bonus thing, because I kind of completed the game and had a couple of things I hadn't used yet or upgraded. So I had to go back and do some bonus things, a bonus video at the back end where we tested out the new things, and they were really cool things. They could have changed some of the gameplay elements as well, or some of the challenges, but it turned out I didn't need them to complete the game, so it's a little thing there. And now for the ugly. Only really one ugly thing in this game, really, and that's sometimes random generation doesn't always come together in the way that maybe they intended. Specifically, there's scenarios where obviously there's things that can happen randomly in the vessels that you're going to be on and tackling. And one of the things that can happen is you can have a situation where the power is off, which means that enemies are roaming everywhere. And that what can happen with that RNG is that if the power is off, typically it means the enemies roam wherever they want to, which means that you can have a shed load of enemies right at your damn entrance, which is not great. And it usually results in you just getting absolutely destroyed and mauled with barely any health for the rest of that mission there, that kind of hunt for items and loot. And it's happened a few times for me. So some of the RNG sometimes is going to be a little bit, and even for some of the main items that you need to find, sometimes you'll have some real RNG that's just ridiculously good and makes it ridiculously easy, and then sometimes you'll have some absolute shit. So that's the nature of a random number generation in games, I suppose. Anyway, in dynamic games, you're going to have a mixture. Anyway, with that said, though, it's time to give the score. So my score for Void Bastards by Blue Manchu is a
9 out of 10.
So yeah, this is an awesome game. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't have too many complaints about it. Almost borderline trying to nitpick to find bad things or ugly things, really. But combined all together, I suppose it's fair enough to be 9. Not that anything is necessarily perfect, but things are sometimes perfect altogether. And it's just probably the mainly that's missing from it maybe is a more deeper narrative of those aforementioned games. which maybe they will do with a 2 or something, which would be awesome if they get a sequel going. But it's a fantastic addictive shoot and loot roguelike comic-y style thing that's priced brilliantly. Probably less than it should. Probably should be like £30 at least. And there's a good length as well, really good length. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I didn't feel burned out at any point really. I just wanted to keep building, unlocking things, getting new abilities and tackling things by getting the new things and being able to beat things up by making things better. That is pretty much Void Bastards in a nutshell. That's what you're going to be doing, or what you would have been doing if you already played it. So I definitely recommend this game. Go out and get it, support these independent developers. This is definitely one that's worth your money, whether it's via the pass or full price. If you haven't already, go and get this shit. Don't mess around. Go out there and get it. Thanks for watching this. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment below, follow on 2 or more platforms, and I will catch you in the next review or the next gameplay or whatever you watch. Appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.